Hey Sagittarius. We're just going to start looking at the cards and talk about planets as we go along. One of the things I do recognize when I have done videos for you guys in the past, there's a lot of talk in the comments about how Saturn in Sagittarius was really, really hard on you guys, and you're still kind of recovering from that. And I don't want you to think that I don't see that. I don't want you guys to think that I'm not aware of the struggle that you went through. I think my biggest thing is because I have a Sagittarius moon, I have this ability to be really overly optimistic about things and not look at the past as something that we have to continue to rehash. So as I'm aware that Saturn was really, really rough on you guys before it moved into Capricorn, and trust me, it hasn't really been easy on Capricorn either, especially with Pluto there, and you guys deal with that in your second house. I want you to start to recognize the beauty of the lessons that Saturn brought to you and move forward, because the manifestation that you're doing right now is really, really big. And I don't want that to be lost on you. I don't want that to be lost on you. And I am fully aware of how sometimes you can get stuck in the fear of things like that happening to you again, or things like that but you've been through the karmic lesson Saturn taught you, and you were able to come out the other side. Now, if you're not feeling in a very material way the effects of Jupiter in your sign and all the abundance that it's supposed to be bringing to you, January was rough. January was rough. And I asked you guys to look at the bigger picture, because these eclipses really brought to light a lot of those inner demons that you still kind of were grappling with, and a lot of that, Saturnian energy while we were in Capricorn season. And so as I do your reading for February, I want you to keep a really open mind with it, because when I tell you that your manifestation and your work and everything that you've been moving towards is coming to fruition, I want you to look at that in the very Sagittarius optimistic way that I know you guys can look at it. Okay? Because so far the cards are fantastic. And I know that a lot of people are going to be like, I'm not seeing this. I'm not seeing this. Well, it's not February yet, first of all, and I'm doing February's energy. And second of all, again, I want you to look at things as a whole. I don't want you to look at it as, is it showing up? Like, don't pinpoint it to one area of your life where you really want it to show up. And don't let yourself get stuck in an idea that it has to be one certain way, because you guys can think bigger. That's just how you are. You're so open-minded to all of the possibilities of the universe that you can always think bigger. So don't let yourself get stuck in a notion that because it's not happening right now in this energy that it's not going to. So the cards that we have, the 10 of Cups. I know everybody's like, just show the cards already. So the 10 of Cups and the 8 of Wands. By the way, if you're dealing with Virgos are very vocal, and because there's a lot of self-realizations. And I'm only saying that because I'm a Virgo. And when I lecture, it sounds like I'm being harsh, but I'm not trying to be. That's how I love people. I know that's really weird. So as I say that to you, fight for yourself, right? 7 of Wands, fight for what you want. Because the energy of the 8 of Wands, this is the Sun in Sagittarius. This is your energy. Movement forward, everything moving forward, everything moving really fast. I don't want you to block it. I kind of feel like this is a block right here. The 7 of Wands on the 8 of Wands. It's almost like you've been working really hard to get to this 10 of Cups. This 10 of Cups is showing up, and all of a sudden you are trying, there's something that frightens you about it. And you block it. You shut it down. You become kind of defensive towards it. And then we have the 2 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. So there's definitely relationship stuff on your mind. And there's definitely an extremely strong connection that I feel like it's not really contentious for you, but it's like one of those things where if you're going back to that Saturn energy in Sagittarius and you're seeing how maybe possibly an old relationship was for you or how things turned out years ago for you, there can be a defensive mode. That happens because of the fear of things like happening too fast or the fear of things going wrong, like all the what ifs that we get up in our mind about. Let's get one more card and then we'll clarify these because I'm awfully curious what the blockage is. Why is it, see, and this is what I'm saying, like there is a very real fear of, is this too good to be true? Is it a feeling of it being too good to be true? And that's what the blockage is. Because a very wise Sagittarius energy recently said to me, regret is the biggest fear in life. So you have to like take those risks when they come at you. And if you feel like you have regrets of not taking risks, you might still be blocking a lot of abundance because you still have that fear there of past regret. Something to think about. So, which is really funny because like literally that conversation just came up and now it's showing up here. So, I don't want you to stop this Eight of Wands energy because it's like when are Sagittarians ever really afraid of things happening too fast? When it's too good to be true? Even though you can have a very optimistic outlook on the way your future is going to look or the way life is going to look, or that you can, things are always better on the other side of things being bad. The ebbs and flows of life, like you got to look at it, you can't have the good without the bad, because in the bad you learn all the lessons where you get the good. And then when you learn all the lessons, and then that thing that comes along that's like really good for you and is good for your energy and it's good to be in your life and it's bringing abundance to you, and it's more of a give and take. It's like, where now do I place all of this really big stuff coming? But the funny thing is I feel like it's too good. It's looking too good to be true. And I feel like that's where the fear is coming up. So let's just see. Let's see if, maybe you're going to prove me wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you're either needing to make a decision in your life to get to yes, there's definitely a decision that needs to be made. I feel like there's travel involved or moving in a different direction. Could be in a physical way, could be in a thought process, but with the Two of Wands to the Ten of Cups, it's like you can see it. It's like you can see it on the horizon. You can see it right there. And you're standing there waiting for it. You know that you have the whole world in your hand. You know you have everything. You have every opportunity to go for it. But it's a big decision. Because if it looks too good to be true, the decision of what direction am I want to be able to point the arrow in the right direction. But then we go back to, if you don't point the arrow in any directions, will you regret it later? So there is kind of a back and forth on what is the real fear here. What is the real blockage that's stopping you from making a decision and going a direction, in allowing yourself to take a risk that could, maybe you fall flat on your face, but at least you did it. At least you did it. Oh, see what did I just say? The Lovers isn't just about a really big relationship or a really big connection. It is, but it's not just that. It's also about making decisions. You have all these decisions to make in this top row. And your decision big time here is, am I going to move forward towards the energy that can bring me the 10 of Cups, that can bring me the 10 of Pentacles, that can bring me the 2 of Cups, the 4 of Wands? Am I going to move towards that? Am I going to take a risk in doing that? Or am I going to keep blocking it for self-preservational purposes? We'll put it that way. Because maybe this isn't what you were expecting. You were expecting something else for Jupiter to bring you something else. And if you're dealing with a Gemini, it could be that you and a Gemini have blocked each other, but I'm not really feeling that. If it is, I just feel like there are healthy boundaries there, or I feel like there's some kind of boundaries that you've had to place. But the 7 of Pentacles for me, or I'm sorry, the 7 of Wands for me, I said 7 of Pentacles, that's really interesting. The 7 of Wands for me is, feels heavy. It feels like the unknown is a little bit more frightening than one would want to admit to themselves. We'll put it that way. I'm tapping into that Mercury and Pisces energy big time right now, because I can tell that my speech is much slower while I'm doing the February readings. And Mercury doesn't move into Pisces until, oh, for Pete's sake, I forgot the date of it. It's mid-February, and it'll be in Pisces until April because it goes into retrograde. So there's a lot of creativity when it comes to, so we're going to have a lot of this Piscean Virgo energy going on, because the Virgo full moon will happen as well at the same time. So there's going to be a lot of coming to terms with how we are communicating with people effectively, and how we're allowing that energy to move us forward and not keep us stuck. Because sometimes with Pisces energy, you can get really stuck, and then there's that Virgo energy saying, no, you need to move forward. So let's see what the 2 of Cups is. And the 4 of Wands. And I'm sorry. All right. Chuckle, chuckle. I get it. I get it. Joke's on us, right? Joke's on us. So we have the Ace of Wands on the 2 of Cups. There is a really big opportunity here for you guys to have a connection that obviously defies a lot of gravity and probably isn't really logical. And sometimes when things aren't logical, we don't really want to see the beauty of it behind it. So the 2 of Swords on the 4 of Wands. The 2 of Swords really represents, again, like not being able to see everything clearly. But it's okay to not see things clearly. We have all the 2s out here, by the way. Every single 2 is out here. So there are big decisions that need to be made when it comes to the heart. And apparently when it comes to your path forward and your movement forward and your going forward. And I think a lot of it has to do also with the Hierophant and the 10 of Pentacles. Could be a Taurus energy that you're dealing with, or a Cancer energy you're dealing with too. But I think most of this reading has to do with how you are dealing with the abundance that's being given to you. And if you're recognizing that that's the abundance that Jupiter wants you to have in this moment, in this time of your life, and that maybe all of the other abundance comes along, like trails it. And it's not like you don't get to pick and choose what abundance Jupiter's going to bring you when it's going to bring it to you, right? We have to really allow ourselves to accept the gifts of the universe, like aces. It's free will, they're gifts from the universe, but we have free will. We don't have to accept the ace, right? The Ace of Wands. I, for one, don't like to shy away from getting an Ace of Wands in a reading because that's passion and fire. And the Eight of Wands is saying this is like, you have this for the take. You have it in your grasp. Like, it is right in front of you. So what are you not seeing? What are you not allowing yourself to see? Everything that you could possibly want. Family, prosperity, abundance, maybe even not living up to societal norms, but making your own 10 of Pentacles. Because we all know when it comes to Sagittarius, they don't like to do the things that other people like. They won't follow the pack. You guys are individuals all the way. You guys do not follow the pack. You are the leaders. You're the parent. Whereas Gemini is the child. And you are the parent. So make the 10 of Pentacles your own. It doesn't have to be what everybody else says that it has to be. But because the Hierophant being represented by Taurus says the only way that you can be stable is if you go with what society standards say you'll be stable in. Well, we all know that that just simply is not true. So I think that's something that you're really breaking away from, the ideas of what other people want you to do in your life. The Chariot, the Page, man, you guys, the Page of Cups, the Six of Cups, Judgment, there you are, up in your head, Eight of Swords, Three of Wands, Knight of Swords, Seven of Swords, Justice. I think the only way, okay, so what I'm seeing here is there's a really great opportunity for you to move towards some offer. Little hands, it's so hard for me to do cards with such tiny hands. Move towards an offer again with somebody who you have a very strong connection with. This is, I'd really like to say that this is a work reading. I feel like a lot of you really want to know when the money's going to come in. Well, the 10 of Pentacles is saying not to worry about that because you're going to make your own 10 of Pentacles in the way that you need to. You're being taken care of, basically. But for some reason, you really need to know in a very big way to open up your eyes to a particular connection, person, situation that has you really wrapped up in your head right now, but the universe kind of like just gave it to you. Judgment, right? This is that call to action. This is the universe saying, hey, here, look what I have for you. You can blindfold yourself all you want, but here it is. Like, good luck. good luck trying to run away from that. And I feel like the only way that you could possibly make February take a very big dramatic shift is and not take in all of the things that the universe is trying to give to you and the universe is trying to show you, is if you sabotage yourself and think that because the nature of a Sagittarius that is unsure of who they are and what's being presented to them can really make a lot of chaos in their life, right? With the Knight of Wands and the Tower. And that's why I'm saying that. Because here you sit, Three of Wands. I feel like there's some kind of communication that happens possibly towards the end of February that makes you realize the place that you've been in, the place that you've kind of been waiting and sitting and hoping for something to happen. There's a spark or like a realization or a conversation that you have there's nobody else really here in this reading. Yes, we have some signs present, but there aren't any we have the Knights and the Pages. So there's not like some really big players showing up here. So I feel like this reading is a lot about what's going on with you internally and how you're reacting to the gift that's being shown to you. And you're like, but that's not the gift that I thought I was going to be getting, or that's not what I'm trying to manifest right now. I wanted to manifest something different in my life. But I feel like there's almost this shift. It's almost either an internal conversation that you have with yourself where there's a realization that occurs that you can't sit and wait for, it's like, how do I put this? It's like you're waiting for something to happen in your life, but it's not the thing that shows up, or it's not the thing that has shown up, or it's not the thing that's showing up in February. And now you're realizing like, oh, damn, I was like searching for the wrong thing the whole time. And the only way for me to get myself out of this is like backtrack my thought process and realize that I'm actually receiving a different gift to get my abundance. To get everything that I wanted, I have to backtrack and start and look at things in a different way. I feel like you're doing something to get to an end goal that's not like you're like beating your head up against a brick wall to get to a certain position, and therefore doing that you're like blocking the gift that's actually, or not really blocking it, but not like opening yourself up to it. I hope that's making sense. It's a very like strange feeling that I'm like coming into here. The Seven of Swords and Justice. If you feel like you have been betrayed in some way by a Libra, which is really interesting because Leo actually got this very same energy, or you feel very guilty about something that has to do with a Libra, it could be that like the conversation or the back and forth action that's happening, that's the Tower moment that shows up. And I honestly don't feel like this Tower moment has to even happen. I feel like maybe you can create it on your own, because the Knight of Wands is actually Sagittarius energy too. You are showing up pretty big, even though you didn't come up as Temperance just yet. You're showing up, you did show up as the Magician, which I always see as Jupiterian energy as well, because it's very high manifestation quality. But it feels very much like you could bring the Tower moment in. It could happen in one of two ways, where you sabotage things and you decide, nope, that's not what I want. I'm going to go a totally different direction and head off. Or you recognize I was looking at the wrong direction on the gift that I needed to receive in my life, or the gift that I thought I was going to be getting in my life. And now you're creating a Tower moment for yourself because you have to do an about face. And realize that all this time you were really putting your energy into one thing, and you weren't really, you might have been like dabbling or putting your energy into something else a little bit, but it wasn't in, like, you didn't have your whole being in it. And when a Sagittarius isn't fully in something, it's not able to manifest completely. I feel like this Tower moment is either way, you're having to be forced to do an about face, whatever direction you decide to go in there, you're being forced to do an about face. And that's where, so we have the Magician, the Page of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Hermit, Five of Pentacles, and Seven of Pentacles. Okay, I'm going to stop there. All right. After you do this about face, after you get this aha moment where you either recognize, all right, it's not what I thought it was going to be, but let's work with it. Or you say, all right, it's not what I thought it was going to be. I'm just going to wipe the slate clean and start fresh and start over and start trying to manifest the thing that I wanted instead. I feel like it's humbling for you. feel like it's very humbling for you. And recognizing where you need to go from here is really giving, because the Eight of Cups for me and the Hermit is an internal journey. It's a journey of self-discovery. You could be getting an offer from a Virgo or wanting to offer something to a Virgo after a journey, after a realization, after something that was very, very humbling. It might have been that the Virgo was humbled in some way, and now they're doing an about face as well. Who knows? You have to put it in your life the way that it's going to play out in your life. But it feels very much like after this moment of recognition of, maybe I was kind of lying to myself the whole time, or, however you are finding that karmic retribution, that karmic balance within your life, you do the about face, you get extremely humbled and realize that what you have been manifesting all this time, maybe it wasn't exactly the start that you thought, or how it was going to start, or how it was going to show up the way that you thought it was going to show up. That internal journey can bring you to a place of, oh damn. And it's funny because with the Five of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles here, it's like there's almost a brief moment of you like getting super honest with yourself and recognizing where you might have been at a loss at one point, but realizing that the gains were actually there, or the gains were so much more than what you thought they were. And it's all because you had to make this decision, right? The decision to not block the gift, the decision to recognize what's actually going on in your life right now, and not what you are thinking that you want it to go, how you want it to go. Mercury and Pisces. February's going to be very interesting because I'm already getting a taste of it. So I'm like, wow, how much harder is this going to be for me? All right, Sagittarius, keep manifesting, because your gains are so much more than the losses right now. And I know that Saturn took a toll on you guys. I really, really, I understand it. I get it. But let's not dwell on it. Let's let that go, because there is so much more that you are like manifesting right next to source. Like you are really getting in there. You're really digging deep. You're really allowing yourself to get vulnerable and open up to all the possibilities that you can have in your life. If you are looking for a relationship, it looks like you have some decisions to make about a relationship in February, and possibly having a relationship with the Gemini, a Virgo, a Cancer, a Libra. I'm like, what else do we have here? We have air signs, we have earth signs, they're all here. Water signs. Don't get stuck in why hasn't it happened yet. Sometimes the Jupiter gifts come, you guys aren't going to have to wait until December, but sometimes the gifts of Jupiter come after Jupiter moves out of a sign. I'm just saying. I love you guys so much. If you want a personal reading, go check out my website, fearlessintuition.net. And I will see you all for the Soulmate Readings, and have a wonderful February. Bye.